Hey everyone, I'm John and thanks for joining me here in the Boneyard. Inspired by last week's episode after digging through my old treasured VHS tapes, this time I want to look into a great action movie that is an often overlooked piece of 1970s television history. The 1973 made-for-TV thriller, Hijack, starring David Janssen, Keenan Wynn, Lee Purcell and the gorgeous white and orange Freightliner truck. If you're a fan of gritty road thrillers like Steven Spielberg's Duel, you might find this hidden gem well worth tracking down. So, let's get into it. Hijack is a small slice of film history for me, and after George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead, this movie is one of the first movies that inspired my entire love of cinema and love of road movies. In my opinion, this movie is a criminally overlooked work of 1970s TV action. The story of the movie follows two seasoned truckers, the cool Jake Wilkinson, played by the excellent David Janssen, and his co-driver and friend Donnie McDonald, played by the incomparable Keenan Wynn.
Oh, very funny, very funny. You're late.
No, you're late. You were due last night.
Well, I lost my drive line right outside of Barstow. Now, wait a minute, I'm not kidding.
These two long-haul truck drivers and long-time hard-drinking bar buddies are hired to haul a mysterious cargo from New York to Houston.
This particular cargo is very important.
What is it?
Oh, I'd rather not say.
I'd rather you would.
For $5,000, Mr. Wilkinson, we shouldn't have to tell you anything. You'll need a co-driver, and we're prepared to pay him an extra $1,000. Maybe your friend outside. He needs the money even more than you do.
As they make their way across the great American landscape of endless desert highways, they find themselves under relentless pursuit from unknown attackers trying to hijack their haul.
It's a helicopter.
With every passing mile, the tension escalates and the trap is set. But Jake, being a hard-drinking man of his word, he will stop at nothing to deliver the cargo to Houston. And what follows is almost a modern 70s TV western, with the truck being the stagecoach, traveling across the great American landscape, and Jake's pursuers are the crooked lawmen and lawless gangs of the wickedy wild, wild west.
You know how to load one of those things?
Hey! You must figure these guys to be a lot tougher than just a couple of barroom fighters.
Whatever we're carrying, it's important.
I have to make it clear, though, before I continue, that I've never found it carved in stone anywhere to suggest that Hijack was part of the wave of TV thrillers greenlit in the wake of Duel's success, but they definitely share many similarities, even in style and tone. That 1973 film, Spielberg's breakout project, proved that tight, minimalist storytelling with a small cast and a big truck could generate massive suspense and strong ratings. Hijack aired just 2 years later, also on ABC, and mirrors that format, with most of the story taking place on open roads, isolated highways, and inside a cab-over-engine truck. So I say again, if you're a fan of either of these movies, I imagine you'll be a fan of the other. And speaking of trucks, one of the stars of Hijack, and some would say the real lead actor of the movie, is the rig that Jake drives itself, a White-Freightliner WFT-7564.
We got her all checked out, boys.
Thank you.
This iconic cab-over-engine model was a staple of American highways in the 1970s. With its distinctive angular build and chrome-heavy style, the truck gives the film a grounded authenticity that I'm sure fans of vintage trucking and industrial design will appreciate. It's not just a prop. The truck really is the whole movie. It's a symbol of the gritty, working-class heroism the film tries to evoke. And that is one of the things I love about this movie. Jake Wilkinson isn't a cop, private eye, or ex-CIA operative. He's a working-class guy who works hard, drinks hard, and keeps his word. And to me, seeing that as a kid, that was quite an extraordinary character.
Now, you know it's vitally important to get this truck to Houston by Thursday noon.
No sweat.
All right, Thursday by noon.
In seeing this kind of working-class heroism, watching Hijack for the first time, I remember turning to my Uncle Tom after watching it and saying, I want to drive long-haul trucks when I grow up, Uncle. That is how much of an impact that this movie had on me. David Janssen as Jake really is that cool, and the chrome and steel beast really is that awesome. And that is why, for me, Hijack is the quintessential truck driving movie. For those of you out there in the boneyard who have yet to know the iconic TV and film star David Janssen, the star of Hijack, he was best known for his role as Dr. Richard Kimball in the classic action TV series The Fugitive.
The name, Dr. Richard Kimball. The destination, Death Row State Prison. The irony, Richard Kimball is innocent.
He also starred in Harry O, which is an outstanding private detective series, which had 2 star-studded TV pilot movies and is well worth checking out if you're a fan of TV detective fiction.
You and another cop got a call on a burglary in progress at a drugstore. You got shot and your partner was killed. I'm the guy that shot you.
There is something about Janssen I always just found effortlessly cool. He served in the military as a young man and was stationed with another iconic star in Clint Eastwood, and the two became lifelong friends. He was part of the TV boom and was considered a big star in Hollywood for his famous TV roles and smaller movie roles.
Kill or be killed, that's all you have to remember. Just don't forget it.
He had a pretty well-publicized Hollywood affair with the beautiful actress, Suzanne Pleshette, who I have always considered to be one of the most beautiful faces to ever grace the work of Hollywood legend Alfred Hitchcock.
Yes, I know. Did something unexpected come up?
As the doomed school teacher Annie Hayworth in his classic horror movie The Birds. And Annie Hayworth has always been one of my favorite Hitchcock characters. So I've always thought that Janssen is a pretty lucky man.
Not right then, of course. We went back to San Francisco, saw each other now and then, but we both knew it was over.
After many great roles, alongside Gene Hackman in Marooned.
Go, Houston. Do you affirm retrofire? Negative. Barely kill it.
Charlton Heston in the classic thriller 2-Minute Warning, and the great Snakes on a Submarine thriller Fer-de-Lance in 1974. Janssen's life was cut tragically short at the age of just 48 of a heart attack, allegedly brought on by his Hollywood lifestyle of very heavy drinking and constantly chain-smoking cigarettes. On his death, actress Angie Dickinson once said to Vanity Fair that he was a great gentleman, a great date, and great love. At his funeral in 1980, his pallbearers included Gregory Peck, Gene Kelly, Richard Harris, Milton Berle, and Suzanne Plechette's husband Tom Gallagher. It was also reported that his close friend Clint Eastwood dated his widow, actress Danny Crane, for a short time after his death. He had a true Hollywood superstar storyline. And a quick fun fact and high point of Janssen's career is that his most famous work, the Fugitive series, had one of the most watched finals in TV history, with over 78 million viewers tuning in.
And I went to the president of the network and I said to him, we can't just end the series with another episode. People have been watching this series for 5 years.
Next, The Fugitive, in color.
Chasing the one-armed man. We have to resolve the series. And he and the other senior members of management looked at me like I was crazy. And begrudgingly, they said, well, as long as you got it paid for, we'll let you put it on the air. It went on the air in August and got a 46 rating and a 72 share.
You killed my wife, didn't you? Didn't you? You killed her! Yeah, I killed her.
46% of all the television homes tuned in to that 1 hour.
It's not the hard drinking, womanizing, and chain smoking that I always thought was cool about him. Although it is a pretty rock star life that he led, it was that I liked David Janssen's work.
Look, Boot, you're not the first one that ever cracked up hitting the beast. Damn it, we're all scared.
And it was his great performances, and especially his turn as Jake Wilkinson in Hijack, that made me a great fan of his.
We're out here in the middle of nowhere risking our necks for people we don't even know, driving a rig we don't even know what's in it.
Jake, we took the job.
Some job.
His performance in the movie is nuanced. You get a real feel for his character as someone on the edge who just won't go down without a fight. And he fights tooth and nail in this movie. He was one of the first action heroes that I admired, and he brings his magnetic mix of world weariness, his tough guy gravelly voice, and steel-eyed resolve to the role of Jake. It's a classic TV performance, and for me it really is one of my all-time favorites.
I know I'll never see you again.
I've been wrong about everything else since we met. You just might be wrong about that, too.
Behind the camera, Hijack was helmed by Leonard, a skilled TV director best known for his work on Mission Impossible, The Outer Limits, and later, the original Wonder Woman TV pilot.
The colors were chosen to show your allegiance to freedom and democracy. The skirt can be discarded if it should prove cumbersome. The material is indestructible.
Horn had a knack for quick pacing, fast editing, and suspense, and his TV resume made him perfect for the guy to direct this tightly wound road movie. Tragically, Wonder Woman would be his final project before his untimely death, also at the age of just 48 years old.
You are a Wonder Woman. I will make you proud of me.
The film Hijack was produced by the legendary team of Aaron Spelling and Leonard Goldberg, the powerhouse team behind Spelling Goldberg Productions. Together they revolutionized 1970s television, producing mega hits like Starsky and Hutch, Charlie's Angels, The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, and Goldberg.
Smiles, everyone. It's going to be a beautiful day.
It also previously worked with David Janssen on The Fugitive.
The Fugitive was a gigantic hit series for ABC, and it'd been on the air for many years as a huge hit with David Janssen. And the 66-67 season was its last year. I think we've been on the air for 5 years.
When you start to dig in to these TV movies, you really begin to see why some of them were so successful and remain solid work to this very day. Hijack has 3 writers credited, and 2 of them are legends of television. The writing team of James D. Buchanan and Ronald Austin were behind Hijack, and their work is impeccable, from Mission Impossible, Charlie's Angels to McCloud, but also fantastic TV movies like the excellent horror movie, The Horror at 37,000 Feet.
The flight engineer has been killed.
Demonic Plague on an Aeroplane movie starring William Shatner in one of my favorite performances of his.
The defrocked priest, delight of the armchair analyst. Where did you lose your faith? I didn't. It lost me.
I highly recommend The Horror at 37,000 Feet to any horror fans. It is a fantastic horror gem of 1970s TV, and I can't help but think it may have had just a little bit of an influence on another TV horror classic.
Where's the little girl? My baby.
Look, I'll get everything. You run up front now, okay?
Stephen King's The Langoliers.
Would you please be quiet? You're scaring the little girl.
Scaring the little girl?
James Buchanan also wrote the great TV movie Deadly Currents, also known as Curaçao, starring William Peterson, George C. Scott, and the beautiful Julie Carmen in 1993. And that tight, engrossing, erotic TV thriller is a great showcase of talent and a fantastic story of double crosses and espionage.
This is very nice. KGB used to have perks like this. Remember them?
Sit down, Stephen.
All of these are excellent works of TV, and for any fans of the slasher genre, the third writer listed in the credits of Hijack is Michael Kelly, who also wrote the story, whose only other writing credit is the great little unknown slasher movie Hide and Go Shriek, released in 1988. And for hardcore slasher fans, that movie is a must-see.
Don't understand.
No need to run.
There was so much talent behind this ABC movie of the week. And sometimes with these workaholic writers, actors, producers, you simply strike gold, and all of the right stuff came together to make Hijack.
When they get to Gila City, kill them.
Spelling and Goldberg's formula was simple. Their TV work was always glossy, star-studded with accessible action, strong lead characters, and just enough mystery to keep you watching week after week. Hijack may not be their most famous work, but it fits right into their body of work as a sleek, straightforward, enjoyable, everyman thriller. It's action-packed, full of great dialogue, especially between Janssen and Wynn as the two old bar buddies.
It ain't natural not to worry about what's back there. I hate to say this, but that makes you pretty unnatural.
That's right.
That's right.
And there's also a couple of wonderful moments between Janssen and Purcell when she talks about life looking after her old man in this kind of flagging desert motel.
You got an opening?
The writing is excellent. And in TV, I guess you've got to have something for everyone, right?
People. Running hard, driving fast, not caring who they step on, not caring about anything.
Well, you can't just lump all people together like that.
Yes, I can.
Over the years, this movie has become an awesome comfort to me, and I've managed to collect a few pieces of memorabilia from the original broadcast and a piece of merch. First, I've got this kind of a little badge from a studio called UFA Video, which is a pretty awesome little collector's item. It's kind of like an old tax disc shape for truckers to stick in the window or something. And lastly, from a private collector, I snagged an original 1974 photo release of David Janssen, which I treasure. You can see the touch-ups on the photo and highlights that have been put into his hair. I guess that's for it to be used in the publicity and put into TV listings, magazines and stuff. And it even has a date and stamp on the back and notes for the TV listing itself and a historic images authentication code. I saw this and I just couldn't help myself. There is also a very personal reason I love this movie. My Uncle Tom, who I mentioned, who showed me the movie, never said it, but I always got the sneaking suspicion that he always thought he shared the rugged good looks of David Janssen. These are the two best photos I could find of Tom. The first one is of me with him when I was a kid. What do you think? Is there any resemblance? I always thought he thought so. So whenever I see Hijack or this memorabilia that I bought, I also think of him. He passed away many years ago, but his memory still lives on. And that is the great power of movies. They can also remind us of great people and great moments in our coming of age and memories in our lives forever. While Hijack didn't set critics' hearts racing, it has a very special place in mine. The pacing is tight, the performance from Janssen is solid, and the theme's still surprisingly relevant.
If people don't feel anything, you just use people. You don't care anything about them.
Mr. Wilkinson, what you did was very important for this corporation, even for the country.
If you're a fan of vintage thrillers, classic trucking, or just want to see David Janssen at the wheel of a chrome beast barreling through the desert, it's well worth a watch, and a part of my personal movie history. Plus, the theme music for this movie is fantastic, and it's a great driving force throughout the whole movie. Hijack sits right in that sweet spot of early 70s suspense TV, where the road was long, the cargo was mysterious, and danger was never far behind.
$3,000 makes me awful mean.
We're gonna earn the money, every damn cent of it.
Thanks for watching my take on Hijack and the great David Janssen. I'd like to say a big thank you to all Boneyard Patreon supporters and channel members here on YouTube. If you did like this video, please remember to like, share and subscribe, and leave a comment below, as it's your contributions that keeps me digging up classics right here in the Boneyard. Don't forget to check out the store tab, and please consider becoming a member to have your say in what I review here on the channel. So, keep your eyes on the road. As always, thank you all so much for listening. piece of TV history.
I'm frightened. Can you help me?
I'm sorry, I'm fresh out
Aren't you afraid?
of dying. I gave that up along with the rest of my illusions.